Tess goes missing. Militus manages to stay awake, and the Precursor Guild downs all of the world bosses. That's right, it's time to wind it up. It's the PrecursorCast, episode 5. Well, all right. It is time for the Precursor Cast. We are so happy to have you in. And by the way, thank you to all of you wonderful people for listening. We've just been having such a great time doing this podcast and getting all these listeners, getting to meet you. So thank you very much. As always, I am joined by Tess and Militus. Tess, how you doing?
I'm alive. I am alive. I am here, and I'm doing okay.
Just okay. Well, we're happy to hear it, and we're going to brighten your day. We're just going to make it so much better. Militus, how about you? What is going on, buddy?
Oh, she tastes like cigarettes.
Oh my gosh. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah.
In case you don't know, every week I get some sort of a sound effect that I get fond of because, I
was representing the hat,
only have
bro.
one. That was pretty funny. Yep. Bubba Gump Shrimp Company on the hat.
Deep fried.
Well, we have a wonderful show, and I want to start it off with a little bit of fun. I want to go ahead and I'm going to roll out a little bit of a game. Are you guys ready for this? It's not really a game, actually. It's a top 10 list. So I did this on the other podcast, and I used to like doing this. I'm going to do the top 10 Guild War II names for your new Sylvari character.
Oh, can I guess one?
Yes, you can.
Tauren Bulge.
Unfortunately,
that one on
no.
the list?
Unfortunately, no. That one did not make the list. But here we go.
Close.
I'm going to go ahead and roll out the very first ever top 10 list on the show. Are you guys ready for this? This is going to be too funny. So if you have a Sylvari, so there's a lot of new players in the game, of course. And we naming a new character is almost impossible, right? You're like, what are you going to do? And you're trying to figure out a name for a character. So you pick a Sylvari because Sylvari play an important role in the story right now of Guild Wars 2, but you're like, what is going to be the perfect name? Here are a few that I recommend. So number 10. So first name Twiggin, last name Berries. So you could be a Sylvari named Twiggin Berries. That's a good one. I think that's totally fair.
These are all going to be terrible, aren't they?
They are.
Some of them were.
No.
So I looked some of them up, by the way. So these came from different places on the internet, and there's a couple on there that I made up. So yeah, they're all pretty good. Number 9, Julius, first name Cedar, last name Julius Cedar.
A2 boom, A2.
I just think that is a quality, classy name for your Sylvari character. This is one of my favorites, by the way. Number 8. Morning Wood.
Oh, I knew that was coming. Yeah, I knew that was coming.
You knew that was coming. That was, maybe,
Morning
I don't know.
Wood.
Maybe that one gets banned.
Or it could be laying the wood.
I don't really. It could be
throwing that out there.
Laying. I didn't even think about laying the wood.
There you go, laying the wood.
There you go. Number 7 is Russell Sprouts. Got the guy named Russell Sprouts.
That one's bad. I'm sorry. That one's kind of bad.
These are horrible.
That one's bad.
If you think
what do you
that
think,
one's
Tess?
bad,
That one's bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
you got to hear number 6. Number 6.
Okay.
First name Fertile, last name Eisme. Fertile Eisme. There you go. Fertile and Eisme. Number 5, aloe vera. It's simple. It's just simple. You can be aloe vera. that one doesn't require any extra effort. Everybody will pronounce it. This one's kind of a play, by the way, on aloe vera. Number 4 is Leave Me Alone.
Oh,
Leave
I like
me
that.
alone.
Leave
but
me alone.
Alone is spelled aloe-N-E. So alone. So you got the aloe in me. There you go. So number 3. Now we're getting to the good ones, by the way. The next 3 are the good ones. Floral and Hardy.
That is awesome.
There you go.
That
Number 3,
one is so good.
Floral
You
and
looked that
Hardy.
one up, didn't you? Boom. Come on.
I've
admit
looked
it.
most of these up. I'm going to just admit it.
That one's awesome.
Number 2.
Laurel and Hardy. That's
Number
awesome.
2 is a great one too, because this one's just. Why didn't I think of it? Right, Clint Eastwood, pure and simple. Clint.
Oh, come on. That one's.
Clint
If you're going to
Eastwood.
do that, then why don't Elijah Wood?
I didn't even think Elijah Wood would have made my list. Elijah Wood. I didn't even think about that. I wonder
But
how many
Elijah Wood's not
there
as
are.
cool as Clint.
Clint Eastwood's a little more
Elijah.
badass.
Okay, I would agree with you, except for Elijah Wood was Frodo. I mean,
It's true.
But-
It's
it's
true.
pretty damn cool.
Frodo versus Dirty Harry. Come on.
It's true. It's true. Well,
Well, does Frodo get
You
to
know.
bring all of his friends?
Oh, that would be bad for Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
Frodo brought his friends.
are you guys ready for number 1? I don't
how
have a
are we
drum roll.
talking about Frodo versus Dirty
I
Harry?
wish I would have got a drum roll.
Because this is the Precursor podcast, and that's how we roll.
That's
And
how
we're
we do
exhausted.
it. Number 1. Okay, best name for your new Savari character, George Bush.
Fool me once, I will hit my heel. Fool me. Point is, I won't hit 6 again because it's on cooldown.
That was awesome. Oh, you do a great George Bush. That was fantastic. So, George Bush, there you go. That was the top 10 list, but I want to cover a couple real quick. So, we got a couple honorable mentions, by the way. So, I had a couple also rans. I'm going to tell about this other one this thing that Militus did, which got him in trouble. But I got some also rans. Here we go. Kate Moss.
Yeah.
Kate
Okay.
Moss. There you go. Also
like
ran. And then just plain old Hardwood. Right? Hardwood. That would be a good one. And then you got the Salad Shooter, which is an entirely different EV.
Oh, nasty.
That's what happens when old Boom goes to the salad bar. He becomes the Salad Shooter.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it's a little
Oh, no.
horrible.
If you made a Silvari engineer and he pulled the little ram thing out of his belt, it could be literally a Silvari salad shooter.
Silvari Salad Shooter. There you
We
go.
have video of that, by the way.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
But that was an Azura shooter.
No,
thing.
no, that was a whole
No,
different,
that was
whole
a
different time.
Norn, and then you were doing the spray thing.
It was a.
That's true.
There was a whole thing. We don't want to get
There's a
into
whole
that. But
thing.
let's talk about the honorable mention. So, old Militus tried to name one of his characters a while back, and I don't know where he thought he was going to get away with this, but he named it Militus Logdong.
Did you really?
Dude.
Did you get in trouble? Did you get like an email from ArenaNet?
So okay, my character I have now, my main character, Militus Raptor Strike. I'm like, I gotta name something funny because I want something to make Boom and Test laugh. I might create a funny character. So I name him Militus Logdong, and I log in, and I kid you not, I kill you kill the big, I don't know if it's a dragon, whatever you kill in the starting zone for the Silvari. I was level 2 or 3. I didn't even make it to level 5. And I'm running around and someone's like whispering like, I'm gonna report you for that name. I'm like, what's wrong with it? Like, really? Logdong? There are kids that play this game. I'm like, oh, come on. They're like, I'm reporting you. I'm like, okay. So I delete because I didn't want to like create the character, us run around, me level it and have to kill it because his last name was Logdong. So it became Raptor Strike in honor of WoW. So yeah, I think Raptor Strike would better fit.
There you go. That was tense. Militus. Well, there you go. The first ever top 10 list from the Precursor Cast. There's my lightsaber sound. I had to get it there. That's me putting it away. That's what I was doing. I took the top 10 list out, and then I took it out, and then I just
Okay.
I put it away. There
You
you go.
need to stop doing that because it's causing me to have arousal. We're too close to Star Wars for you to do that, sir. Sorry.
Should be fun. Should be fun. I'm excited. I get to go both days, so I'm kind of excited.
I have my tickets.
About this. I'm going on the 17th and the 18th, so I'm pretty excited about this. Well, Tess, tell them how they can get a hold of us if they want to, because they love all of our fun and our
awesomeness.
That's your new intro, Tess.
Why? Well, okay, it makes sense. Never mind. I'm very much like.
It's because you're missing. Every time you talk, I'm just going to go ahead and just.
Okay.
It's a long story.
Well, you can check our website.
Worst podcast ever.
You're weird. You can.
Can you go ahead and do this, Tess?
I am too tired.
We're trying to have this show done.
You can go to our website at http whatever blah 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 pc.kindofabigdealgaming.com. You can tweet us at PrecursorPodcast. I'm sorry. I screwed it up.
Tweets.
Are you going to do that every time I screw up? You can tweet us at PrecursorCast. You can email us at precursorpodcast@gmail.com.
Here we go. Knock
You
it
can
home.
watch us every Wednesday at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific at www.twitch.tv/precursorcast. You can Facebook us at facebook.com/precursorpodcast, or you can call us, and I'm not going to sing it.
Aw.
What are you talking about?
You have
got to
such a
sing the
nice
jingle.
voice.
You can call us at 702-625-1337. That spells
There.
leet.
Oh, she added the tagline to it. Very nice.
I joined in because I thought I did the. Did you hear me? I did the harmony. I went up on that. Did you see?
That wasn't.
I went up on that end there.
Did you
think-
do it properly?
I think I tried to go a little higher.
Okay.
That's what I did. That's
We'll see what happens.
That's what I was giving it a shot. Well, one of the things I wanted to mention too, by the way, is we're all about the iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
We're all about all the different places that you can listen to us. Please go ahead, send a review, put some information out there into the world for us. It helps us out. We're already doing well, so we're really excited about the show and everything that's happening, but that always helps us. So if you like what you hear, support us just by doing that. That's all we ask for. We don't need any other kind of support. This is just fun. So there you go. Well, we're going to go ahead and kick this show off and get rolling. No more hardwood jokes. We're going to now get into our moment of Zen. And we're going to start with Tess.
I hate you so much right now. Well, my moment of Zen is that as of this evening, I actually will be able to start playing again. I'm a teacher. I teach high school theater and music.
Yeah, music. That's why I thought you'd be proud of that.
Well, I can't hear
that
you.
little harmony I did.
I couldn't hear it.
Oh.
So I'll hear it on the playback.
Yeah, it'd be good.
But this was our crazy week. I had all of our holiday concerts and performances and everything, end of the semester stuff. So I didn't have a chance to even watch any television, let alone log into games. So starting tomorrow, I can get back on. Yay! That's my back.
You don't get a moment. You didn't really have a moment of Zen there, did you?
I'm happy. My moment of Zen is that it's all over. That's very Zen. I am so Zen right now about that.
All right. Well, Militus, what is your moment of Zen this week?
My moment of Zen is all about the fat loots. And
Ooh.
fat loots.
Yes.
In Guild Wars, when some people call it grindy, I don't agree with that because grind for some of us means it gives us a goal to work towards something. I kind of like that. And so in this game, I've been working towards getting my last trinket or accessory that's ascended. And I did. I hit my 50 globs of ectoplasm last night on our World
Nice.
Boss run, which we will talk about later.
Yes.
And I went in with my laurels and my ectoplasm, and I bought my last ascended trinket, and it was Althea's Ashes. Now, here's the thing. You had all these great stats. It's a Berserker trinket. It's got all this power, and it's got the precision and everything on it. But I was sort of bummed when I put it on because I actually read the tooltip, and I'm like, oh, so I'm carrying around an urn of ashes from a girl who was burned alive. That sounds great. Wonderful.
Wow.
Hooray.
This just got deep.
Yeah,
Was it some sort of a
just-
mystery?
we're going to have a moment of lore here in our moment of Zen.
Nice.
Althea's ashes are the remains of Lady Althea, the daughter of Duke Baradin and betrothed of Rurik of Ascalon, son of Adelburn of Ascalon. Althea went missing after the searing, and the Baradin were stationed a force at Piken Square to find her. It was discovered, however, that she'd been captured by the Flame Legion and burned alive. As a sacrifice, Zulderp, Torn Bulge, to your dirty char.
Yes.
They're Titan gods.
Those
Her
char.
ashes were later recovered, and her father ensured that she would be interned properly,
Wow.
placed in this little urn on my belt now.
That's
I'm
what I was
carrying
saying.
this.
Wait,
This is
interred
serious.
properly, meaning that she's hanging
Meaning
up,
that-
like
yeah.
next to Militus' butt
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the rest of eternity.
That's it.
Yeah, you can just carry her around.
She's got good stats.
She's got good stats,
All
but
about the stats, baby.
That's kind
all
of
about the stats.
interesting that you just carry her around like that.
She serves her purpose. That's
You know,
all that matters.
It's
So bad, right?
It's like the Big Lebowski,
now
and you get the
all
coffee
I can
can.
imagine
and you carry
is
the-
some
yeah.
like kid going, "Oh, I wonder." Like I can see cosplay, like somebody going and getting their grandma off the mantle,
taking him to Comic Con. I'm carrying Althea's ashes. Grandma's in
It's
cosplay
Nana.
as well.
It's Nana.
Nana won best
If
costume.
it had an effect, like in WoW, where you could activate a trinket, if it had an effect, would it be like me dipping my hand in the ashes and then getting a nice tight grip on my bow?
yeah, you licking your
Wait,
fingers.
you're using a sacrificial ashes to lay wood?
No, that you went too far.
No,
You went
I
too
didn't.
far. Well,
If I were playing a
That's
Reaper,
amazing.
yeah, that would be completely plausible.
yeah,
to,
that would
to lay the
actually
wood
make
to dead
sense.
things.
Yeah, that would make sense. The Reaper,
Bunch of necrophiliac
necro,
PvP winning
crazy
jerk
Yep,
Reapers.
spell
Darn
tossing,
Reapers, darn.
tell green, blue colors. Okay, that's all I had. Well, that was pretty good. That was a good moment of zen. We got kind of morbid there with that moment of zen. That was. It sounds like you had a really good time though, carrying around some ashes, and it sounds like you'll be carrying those around for quite some time as
Yes,
they
I
are
will.
ascended. So that's pretty much it. You are forever, eternally bound to carry somebody's ashes around. All
Now,
of
if I could
Tyria.
just be eternally bound to get just one piece of my leather, I would be
There you go.
thrilled.
There you go. Well, I had a moment of zen. Well, I had several. So interesting story this week. So I was driving back to Colorado a couple weeks ago, and I went and saw Tess. And on the way back, we stopped at this what used to be an outlet mall. And when we pulled in, I was like, "Hey, we'll just pull into the outlet mall and we'll use the bathroom there," because we were on our way and we were traveling with kids and we all had to go to the bathroom. But it was really Dad that had to go to the bathroom. Anyway, so we pull in and we're gonna use the bathroom, and I'm like, "There's not a single store in this entire strip mall," and there wasn't. There was no stores in the strip mall except for one. Believe it or not, churches had taken over the entire mall, and there was just on the end of it there was one store, and it was Bose. Out of all
Ooh.
places, just a Bose store. So there's this Bose store at the end of the strip mall. So everybody goes to the bathroom. I go and I walk down into the Bose store, of course, as I would, right? I'm a guy. I mean, seriously. So I
As
walk
you
in.
would.
As you would.
Yeah, or would.
Anyway, so I go into the Bose store, and sitting right in front of me is a Black Friday deal on the speaker that I've always wanted for my TV. And I've wanted this speaker because I have the surround sound system in my living room and everything, and there's cables and wires and all sorts of crap. But I want this little like speaker so I don't have to have all that stuff. So I go and I buy that. Now, it sits in my basement for about 2 weeks. And then old Boom goes, I'm not going to wait till Christmas. I got to put the speaker in. So the house is tore apart because we were decorating for Christmas. So I go and I get the speaker and I set it down where I want to put the thing, and I lift the TV, not super heavy TV. It's like a 55-inch TV. It's nothing too heavy. I pick it up, and when I do, I completely throw out my back. I mean, we were talking like I felt every muscle in my back just pull like this to the point I couldn't stand up. So I fall to the ground. I put the TV down as fast as I could. I fall to the ground, and for the next 4 hours, I laid on the ground. I couldn't actually roll over or do anything. It was like, couldn't bend, couldn't do anything.
I hate that.
I
That's
couldn't
happened
even
to
go,
me too.
I couldn't even go to the, I was like, my wife was like, I need to take you to the hospital. I was like, I don't think you can even get me to the hospital. Like, I can't get in the car right now. So anyway.
Hold on. Oh, 1 second. 1 second. Did you scream out in anguish, I need a heel?
Yes, I did.
Because I'm just,
I was
I
like,
need a heel.
Rainbow deer.
I need a res. Somebody give me a res.
That's what I needed was a res desperately.
That's when you know you're a gamer. When you go down in your house and you're legitimately hurt,
Yes.
you start screaming for heels and reses, and people around you're like, "What the hell is that?
What the hell is
What are they
going
talking
on? I'm
about?"
like, healer. Yes, and that's kind
So-
of what happened.
I have got to say that this is the level of exhaustion that I had, is that when you said that you went to a Bose store,
Oh no!
I was thinking
Like
like
a boat store.
bows, like bows
yeah,
and
that's
arrows.
totally right.
Which is
As
why
I
I
would.
made that wood joke.
Yeah, I would totally.
Oh man.
That was ridiculous.
It's kind of like boom. My wife says she's going to go to Hobby Lobby, and I think she said
right.
something about a wooden horse. Or I just completely tune out whenever I hear Hobby Lobby. I think women tune out when they hear fries. Do you guys have
Speakers.
fries? You had fries there?
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know what that is.
No.
Oh.
If we did, I would
is
be in
that?
fries every
I
day, all
have
day.
French fries.
It's an
No,
electronics store. It's the
fries,
greatest electronics store
electronics.
ever made.
No.
It's
It is so
we don't have
awesome,
it.
Tess.
I
It's
wish
the
it
Hobby
did.
Lobby of electronic stores for
it's so
guys.
amazing. It's like
Continue,
it's like,
Boom. I'm sorry. We got
It's like
Sorry,
all of the it's like the internet in a building.
yes.
Really is what it's like. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
so
Boom is down. He
so
needs
I'm
heels.
down, so I'm hurting, and so for that whole day, I couldn't even. So I finally made it to bed. So it took hours, but by that in the evening. Now here's the saddest part about this whole story is that while I'm on the ground in pain, I had unplugged all of the TV stuff. I couldn't even watch like a TV show while I'm laying there. I just stood there. So I stood there staring at the ceiling in the dark, just laying around. So I did that for hours. It was.
How long until somebody found you?
Yeah, I'm about to say, did no one help you? I mean,
So no, it's kind of interesting. So wife was away, everybody was gone, so I was just laying on the ground, just looking at the ceiling. So anyway, long story is, that's
sad.
so this is where Bear, our good friend Bear, who called in last week, this is where he says maybe I need to invest in one of those little things that go around my neck. I've fallen and I can't get up. Life alert. Yeah, life alert. He told me maybe I should be thinking about that. So anyway, so I hurt my back. So the next day I stayed home from work. I was like, I can't even go into work. So that day I did get to play a little bit, and it was painful but kind of fun. And I attempted to run some HOTS, and as we've talked about over and over again, I went into HOTS and I got my butt handed to me, so I went back out of HOTS and I switched over to one of my characters that I haven't really done any Corteria with, and I started doing Corteria again. And I had a lot of fun, actually, because I went around and I got a whole bunch of the zones unlocked. And I got it unlocked just in time for what we'll talk about in a minute, which was the PrecursorCast guild run. So that was one of my moments of zen, was actually getting to sit upright and play, because I honestly thought I was done for. I was like, this is it. My time is over. Just put a fork in me and I'm done. So I got 20% of my world map unlocked on my Revenant, which felt pretty good. I know that's not that that big of a deal. And then the other moment of zen, of course, was the Tuesday night event where we got to run with the guildies.
Wait,
and
don't skip what you wrote about crafting stuff.
we got to I'll get to it. We got to actually convert to what is it, instead of a bigger group cast. What is that called? Why am I drawing a blank?
Squad UI.
Squad. We got to convert to a squad. It was awesome. We had so many
How
people.
did you do that?
We just converted a squad.
Hold on, back up. We thought we had.
Yeah, we
thought we had to break down and spend the money for a Dorito, didn't we?
Yeah,
I
we
thought
were going to
that's
do
what
that.
you had to do.
You don't.
Nope.
Welcome to the new part of Precursor Podcast, where we think we have to spend 300 gold to do something that's absolutely free.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it was. So we were like, yeah, everybody's like, okay, we're just going to go ahead and chip in. Who's on the most? Who wants to be the Dorito guy? And I was like, it'd be hilarious making me the Dorito guy. So it was down to me or Zolderp or a couple people that were going to be the Dorito guy. And
Zolderp be a good Dorito.
he would be a great Dorito,
be,
except for who knows where Zolderp would be. Like he has explored parts of this map that I bet they have stats at ArenaNet where they keep track of where people have been and haven't been. And I bet Zolderp has been in all of the ones where they're like, I didn't think anybody would go there. I bet he's been there. He just, wanders off.
Not to mention, Tess, I joked last night that given one of his herbal outtakes,
remedies, yeah,
he may try to eat himself as a Dorito.
yeah. If he was a Sylvari, he wouldn't last long.
Nom, 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 nom.
He'd be, yeah, he would. It wouldn't last long. So
it would be a torn hump instead of a torn bulge.
It would be.
A torn bump.
Torn bump.
No, a torn stump.
A stump.
Torn stump. A torn nub.
You guys, well, I'm glad to see that you two have loosened up a little bit. Well, while you guys are laughing, so in this whole process, I found out that you can up your storage in your bags. You don't have to just store, not in the bags, but in the crafting, so that you can go and buy something that'll take you from 250 to 1,500. So you can store 1,500 materials. Now that is something that I want. Now I have not done it yet, but that was what Zyre was telling me, is that I can increase my storage of my materials that I go around and farm. So I'm going to do that next week, and I'll tell everybody how it goes.
Yeah, it increases the stack to 250, right? Of all, is that right?
You're already 250, but you can go up to, he says, up to 1,500.
Wow.
And that would be huge because my bags right now are full of mats because I'm leveling these characters in Quarteria, and I farm every node as I'm traveling. And I don't have the mats I need, of course, but I got a whole bunch of other maps. So I got mats coming out my nose. I got so much sparkly dust crap that I don't know what to do with.
I could build a castle out of the mithril I have.
Yeah, I know, right?
I've got dragon ore coming out of places I don't talk about.
Okay, here's the thing. Can I beg someone listening to this podcast to please tweet at us or Facebook us or something? What does one use dragon ore for exactly? Tess
would like to answer.
You use it to make your some ascended stuff.
There's some bricks and stuff you do.
Bricks.
And it does, by the way, when
you
do
need
this,
like 200.
It takes like 100 or 200 at a time.
Yeah, at a
So it's
time.
like-
So you need a lot of it.
I got plenty.
But the problem
Yeah,
is you need to
you're fine.
stack it more. Yeah.
I think I have 5 stacks in my bank.
Yeah. So you have enough. You have enough for
I have like
a lot of your
1,500
ascended.
dragon ore.
Yeah, that's about right.
That's crazy.
You need a lot of it.
The other thing is, though, is that I need to spend more time with my Revenant in PvP because I feel like I don't play him very well, and PvP will make you good at playing if you just do it. So, that's just something. Maybe that's Boom's pro tip this week. If you want to get good at your class, go and play some PvP because it takes you from being to being a lot better at your class because you sort of understand how you can throw down your combos, what things are going to do the most damage. You kind of know how to avoid things and run away and do all that stuff, and it really does help you in the fights more than other games that I've played. This is like PvP can really help your PvE playing, I feel, especially when you're kind of like me and you're more casual, I think it helps. There's probably
I actually
other
read
players that
the
don't think that.
tooltips when I PvP.
You do?
And I can't
That's
say I
crazy.
do that when I PvE. I just kind of
Yeah,
mash
you
buttons
actually have
and
to.
stuff
Yeah,
dies.
right. That's true. You're just like,
So you're saying pro
6.
tip for the tooltip in PvP.
Yeah.
If
There you go.
If you PvP, you actually pay attention to the small details that help you be a better player.
Right, and you also, because all the builds are open, you tend to, even if your characters are low level, you go in there and you tend to tweak things and kind of play with stuff, and you kind of go, okay, what happens here, here, or here, and then you tend to come with a little bit better build, and you know what can work and what doesn't work, and you can just kind of do it, and it's fun, especially with there's a lot of casual PvP players out there, so they're not everybody is super fantastic. So when you go, you're not going to just die right away, at least right now. Maybe when everything is pro tour PvP, maybe we'll all die real quick, but for the moment there's some other stuff in there. So that was my
Dun, dun, dun.
the week.
Oh, nice.
So there we have it. So every week we try to spotlight some other podcast, because we're a podcast. We like podcasts, and to be quite honest, I'm encouraging everybody to make podcasts because I don't have enough stuff to listen to every week. And one of the things I do listen to religiously every week is the Guild Wars Reporter podcast, which is part of the MMO Reporter Network, which has a lot of other great shows if you like other games as well. I listen to this show. So Celeste and Alona are on there. And they come on every week. They're like, you got the sweet sounds of Celeste and Alona, right?
Illustrious Alona.
Right. It's kind of like a.
And I don't know, how would I say Celeste?
I don't know, but
Celestial Celeste.
Celestial Celeste. There you go. Celestial
They're both
Celeste.
really great.
And
Great
Alonian
ladies.
Alona. There you go. Celestial Celeste, Alonian Alona. There we go. That's our descriptive terms. Anyway, so they guide you through the world of Guild Wars. They've been playing Guild Wars, so they go all the way back. And then Guild Wars 2, and they discuss news, tips, state of the community. They're funny. It's good. You might even learn something. So go and listen to them. You can find them at MMOreporter.com. And probably
Rather than us going,
everywhere else.
how do you get a Dorito? We don't
Yeah.
understand
We're like,
how
we don't
anything
know.
works.
Yeah, they're
I
sitting,
don't
they're-
think that question comes up on their podcast.
In fact,
I'm
I think
fairly certain.
if they were to ever listen to our show, they probably are just face palming right now, going, "What? Really? You don't know what
Really?
the Dorito is? You guys are running a podcast." But
Now, here's the thing.
That's how serious we
I
are.
guarantee you this. If I'm them, I've been playing the game for 3 years, and I hear us talk, I'm actually probably enjoying it because it would cause a lot of nostalgia in me. If I've been playing the game for 3 years and I hear us going, well, do we need a Dorito to buy a squad UI? And, all these kind
Yeah,
of derp
right.
the derp moments we have, it would cause me to think back to when I had those
Right.
derp to derp moments, and I would actually enjoy listening to it. Just
Yep.
throwing that out there.
just throwing that out there. So go listen to that. Good podcast, and we're really appreciative of them doing that every week. Thank you guys. So now let's talk about the moment of noobness, which is
Yes.
very
I have
different.
3
And
moments of
Melissa
noobness to share.
threw this out, so it's not, and I don't have a sound for noobness.
Just
I don't know.
I have
don't
one.
I don't have any kind of sound for
derp,
noobness. So,
derp, 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 derp. There we go. So
yeah. So there you go.
we're all
Okay.
in it together. I'm Mill is a big time spender in the the lion market, whatever. I spend money there a lot, and I shouldn't.
Yes.
And one of the things I've been wanting to buy, you guys don't know how bad I've been, like my credit card's been like near the keyboard, never really bought it, is this portal gem. It's like this device where you can port back to your home city. Now, the reason I didn't buy it initially was I'm like, well, I'm a Safari. I don't want to go back to the Grove.
Right.
Like, I want to go to Lion's Arch. And so I was thinking the other day, I'm like, I don't have to do that. There is another way to always be able to go back to Lion's Arch and pay no money. Care to take any guesses?
I want to go to Lion's Arch. I don't want to pay money.
Mm-hmm. So you're
not a
over in
tram.
Kryta, you're cutting down lumber in Kryta, and you're like, I want to go right back to Lion's Arch.
I wouldn't just fast quick travel there.
Nope, because that costs you money.
Oh.
Okay, so what
I'm
would you
talking
do?
for free.
I don't know.
Here's what you do.
I'm thinking
Real
about
simple
this.
method. You queue for PvP. It automatically takes you to the mist. You walk your little happy ass right over to the portal to Lion's Arch, and bam, you're there. No money.
Well,
That's good. I
Hey,
like it.
no money.
I like
You are kind of being a douche because you are in the PvP queue when you do that. But I mean, I think as long as you go right
can-
into
yeah.
to the portal, you're okay.
Well, you can go there without being in the queue though.
True.
Yeah,
well,
you
well,
just-
it always puts me in the
Yeah.
queue automatically whenever
Right.
I click the little swords. But
But
anyways,
there's
that's
also right next to the swords, Milla. There's a thing that just says travel to that area.
is there
there's a
a
little
fee for it or is it free?
I don't think
Cool.
there's a fee for it.
Cool. Because there's that portal right there back to
Yeah.
Lion's Arch. So you just port back to the mist, edge of the mist. You walk a few steps into the portal, bam, you're back at Lion's Arch, no
That's
money.
great.
And you think about it, we waste a lot of money. And watch me say that, and Gilmore's change it. Like, we're going to stick it to Milla.
Yeah, Milla's like when you go through that portal, it's like a gold.
Oh,
They're gonna be like,
no, I don't think it's any cost at all. So that's moments of noobness number one. Moments of
good.
noobness number
good.
two. Oh,
And I'm going to fight you on this moment of newness.
number two?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have to completely give total credit to NyQuil speaking.
Craig.
Total credit to Zyre, one of our new
Right.
guildies, because we're running around doing world bosses last night, and I'm complaining. I'm like, I just got this yellow, and I used my copper-fed salvage-o-matic, and I didn't get a glob of ectoplasm. And you guys know what I said my moment of Zen was. I was waiting to save up, right, for that
Right.
ascended trinket. And he's like, why are you using that? I'm like, because it's so cool and I spent money on it. And he goes, look, if you really want to get the best drops, you need to use the Black Lion. And I said, well, I have a stack of them. I got them for doing something. And he's like, use those, dude. And so I did. I used those on the next couple world bosses, and I was drowning in globs of ectoplasm after a few bosses. I'm like, no, all
that
this
wasted
time,
time.
I've been missing out on these
Yes.
globs. But there's a catch, though. The catch is for money.
Yes,
because
it's for money.
you can't buy them using gold. You have to use gems, or I think he said that you
can
get them
in
on
the
like your birthday.
chests. And you
or
can
the
get 'em
Black
in the
Lion
chests,
chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I'm going to argue. I'm not going to argue. I'm going to give it a caveat.
Okay, give it.
Okay. Since those are kind of expensive and you do need to kind of save them, only use those on rares and exotics. Only on yellows and orange.
Above 70, right?
Yes. Well, I think you can get globs of ectoplasm for anything above like 55. But I would agree with you. Anything above 70 is what I would save them for, because then if you use those on epics as well, that's where you get your dark matter, which you need for all of your ascended.
Since I haven't gotten one of those yet.
So, and then I would use the salvage-o-matic on greens and blues.
Blues, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing now.
Yeah. But yeah, save those Black Lion salvage kits for your high level rares and exotics. And yeah, you'll get a lot of ectoplasm and the dark globs from those.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you
Cool.
started crafting some of that stuff, Militus? Have you gotten into?
I am so close to
Are you getting
finishing my chess piece.
Oh, nice.
Nice. I'm really close to getting. I've been, the scraps of what is it? Silk. Oh dear Lord.
Well,
That's
right
scratches,
now, at this very moment, as of what day is it? The 9th of December, they're still pretty cheap on the auction house. You can get, I think you need 300 for one damask, if I'm remembering correctly. You can buy that now for like 4 gold. So it's not that bad. It used to be ridiculous. I have it written down.
By the way,
But I'll look at it later.
it's a lot of fun to do this crafting because I actually
It
like
is.
hearing this conversation, because crafting is not something that you do in one setting. It's something that you work towards for a long period of time, and you kind of are always have it in the back of your mind as you're traveling the world and you're doing these different things. You're kind of like, oh wait, I gotta be on the lookout for some iron ore. You know, you're just like, and I know kind of which zones those are in, but I got to do it. And maybe, just maybe, I'll run on my lower level character because those iron ore is in that lower level, and I'll go in and I'll level and I'll get that iron ore. But you're always kind of thinking, what do I need to work on next? What do I need to do to craft? Which I actually really appreciate. I know that some people, I don't know, it's not their thing. I think a lot of people want to churn out products and then put them on the auction house and sell them. I think there's a lot of that's what crafting is. But this to me is real crafting, because the things that you make are yours. You're not going to sell them. You're making it for you,
the
and it's
best
great.
in the game.
It's the best stuff
Yeah.
in the game.
I will say this, my kind of one little meh about crafting in this game is that half of the materials are really hard to come by. So yes, you can go and you can grind out however much ore and how much wood you need, but leather and silk is only, well, it's only from mobs or from, salvaging. So it's, I hate you so much.
That was a serious moment.
I'm going to come and
It's
get
only
you.
from mobs and salvaging.
I'm going to come and beat you up.
The only thing the only rebuttal I would have to that is when I finally decided to get serious about crafting after you guys both hit 500, I'm like, oh man, I got to hit 500, And so I jumped on my engineer, and my engineer is my leather worker, and I zipped up to 500. Like, no problem. I'm still at like 420 something on my, not armor smith. My weapon, no, what is it? Huntsman, my huntsman. I'm only like 420 something because I need a lot of, what is it? Not elder wood. What is the ancient wood? I need a lot of ancient wood. And so like in ores, those spawns, they're not as frequent as the other wood that you'll see there.
That would have been a great name, by the way.
Ancient wood.
Ancient wood.
Ancient wood.
Ancient wood.
Elder wood.
Speaking of ancient wood, my third and final moment of noobness. It's time to get on the Milla train, baby. Because let me tell you what I discovered over the last couple of days. So if you're like Milla, and maybe you played around with one character and you leveled them up to 80, and then you're like, hey, I'll roll another character, and you level up to 80, and you're like, hey, what the hell? And you roll another one up to 80. You got multiple 80s sitting around. I can't believe it took me this long to reach this insight, so everyone's going to laugh at me, but that's okay. I'm over in ore a couple days ago looking for ancient wood. So I'm rolling around, and it doesn't spawn, guys. It's not like the other wood. It spawns very infrequently. So I'm rolling around. I find a piece. I'm like, hell yes, ancient wood. I run over and I harvest it. I'm like, what waypoint is this? So I log out, log in my other 80, port them over there. Guess what's sitting there? Ancient wood. I'll log in my other character. Guess what's sitting there? Ancient wood. So instead of getting 4 pieces, ended up with like 10 in the same amount of time. Yeah. And so I thought, what I'm going to do is just run a little Milla train around ore. So I would run around until I found a node, and I would switch characters, log, harvest, switch characters, log, harvest, run around until I found a node. I would do this over and over and over again. And Milla collected a buttload of ancient wood and orcalium ore like within just, 30, 45 minutes. So really? That's my noob tip 3. What did I say wrong?
Really,
nothing. You got, never mind.
You'll have to listen to it back. I'm not even going to say it, actually.
I'm not going to say it either. I'll tell you later.
Yeah. You're just going to have to listen to that part back.
I'm on NyQuil.
It was good.
You're fine.
It was pretty funny.
It was pretty funny.
We're not going to lie.
You didn't say anything wrong. No. You didn't say anything wrong. You just, let's continue. I'll tell you what you said afterward, I promise.
That's my shit. That's my moment of noobness is get on the train, baby.
Oh, my.
All right.
This episode has been brought to you by NyQuil.
Look, you know it's bad.
Sneezy.
You guys have watched this podcast before.
Yes.
You know I'm normally not drinking water.
That's right. You're normally not doing that. Yeah. All right. Well, here we go. Let's go ahead and move into the news or hot topic. So let's do that. All right, news and hot topics. Militus, what do we got?
I'm excited to hear about this, Milla.
All right, so we got some Militus broke ass segment
The
discussion to have.
The Militus
Although
broke ass segment.
maybe I just saw the precursor broke ass segment because we're all gonna be broke if we keep seeing these cool
Right,
items
right.
show up in the cash shop. So, in the kind of event of the holidays coming on us, ArenaNet has blessed us with a couple of really cool items to buy in the gem store, and one is the Snowflake Glider. Have you guys seen
No,
this?
I'm looking it
I'm
up
gonna
right
have
now
to
because
look it
I
up.
can
Oh.
totally see myself buying it.
MG, it is so cool looking. Okay, so you got that, and you got a wreath backpack,
Oh yes,
and
I'm getting this
and
snowflake.
I don't have this in the show notes, but they released the Santa hat today too, so you can get the nice little Kris Kringle Santa hat. I think it's 150 gems for the Santa hat. But yeah, they're putting us in the festive mood with all these really cool.
It's only 500 gems.
That glider,
Yeah.
that glider is slick.
Bring
That's,
it.
that's
Well,
chump change.
They,
for
they only made
Tess.
it. They made it 500 gems because you can't actually play in that zone where you can fly around.
Oh,
And
you'll
you can
just
only
die.
see it for 15 seconds.
Yeah, so
No,
you'll just die.
about
No,
10?
we're just joshing with you, Arena
Yeah,
Nets.
come on.
We don't mean anything. We're just taking jabs. But yeah, there you go. So
that
I'm all
glider.
about that. I'm buying the glider. I got to see the backpack
It has
too.
Tess's name all over it.
We're all going to
It
be
is
rolling
very
snowflakes.
purdy.
We're all going to be rolling the snowflakes next week. It'll be kind of fun. We'll get all the gear. We'll go out and we'll fly around in our little snowflakes. That'll be kind of fun. I'm excited. So we also you also Militus, you read an article.
I did.
You said made
It
some
was
good
called-
points. I read it as well. I thought
And well, let's give our
yeah.
listeners the title of it.
Yeah,
It's
go
called
ahead.
"Playing for the Long Game," and I can't believe I'm saying this. You know, it's
It also
published
ties
on
into our wood.
MMORPG.com.
but it
I'm
also
not a
ties
fan.
into our
I'm
wood
not
conversation.
It does. It does. It was I thought it was a pretty well written piece about kind of some of the things we were talking about last week in terms of just kind of staying the course, playing it for the long haul, that ArenaNet is going to fix a lot of these things that we're having issues with. And you apparently pulled out your favorite quote from the article, I see.
I pulled out a couple quotes because I thought it was funny. So the article was really good, and it was kind of talking. It was illustrating a lot of what I think the community kind of feels. But it goes back to the point that I made on last week's show, which was it's not the traditional expansion in the sense that it is a whole bunch of traditional content with end game content added onto it. It's an entire expansion of end game content. So none of that content is really meant to be played through like a WoW expansion is. Mm-hmm. And so it feels different because it's not a whole bunch of zones that
And
are
I
just
can
like the core
understand
zones.
why some people are a little up in arms about that.
It's different.
Again,
It's different.
it's different. And most people, when they see an MMO expansion, that is exactly what they think. They think, oh, I'm gonna get all this additional traditional content and then some end game stuff. But you're absolutely right. I love that you said that last week because it's so true.
So
it is completely end game.
Here's the quote. Heart of Thorns is outstanding, and it's frustrating. It's fun, and it's a grind. It's got tons of content, and you can't do half of it. And there you have it. But that sums it up. I mean, he couldn't have nailed that quote any better because that's really what the expansion's about. But like I told everybody, it's kind of like you can look at this as the new zones are the dungeons, and the new zones are all that content, but it's all drop in. And I've always said this about Guild Wars. It's almost like they didn't need raiding because everything's like a drop in raid. You don't need to go looking for group. You just go where the group is, and then you go kill whatever big thing there is. And I have always liked that about that. And I feel like that's the same thing. All these zones are really cool, and the article talked about them being more complex, and there's a lot more stuff in there. And you have to almost approach it more like, okay, guys, let's get 5 of us in the guild together, and let's go through this like it's a dungeon. And we're gonna go take this path. We're gonna go kill these 3 guys. We're gonna get these boxes and chests and this stuff, and then we're gonna go do something else. Right? That's how you almost have to plan for Heart of Thorns. It's just not something you casually stroll in and just, go tootling around. It's different. And I don't necessarily, again, think that that's a bad thing at all. It's just very, very different. But I do think it's done one thing for the game. It has given it longevity, because I haven't really heard of anybody going, oh yeah, I just blew through Heart of Thorns and I'm bored.
Right. I haven't heard that either.
It's not like that at all. I mean, by this time in a WoW expansion, we'd be hearing all about how I'm playing my second alt. Yeah, it'd be, I'm already on my second alt. I played through all the story content, and now what do I do? No. There's always something to do. There is so much to do, and you really do have to plan through this. So this is giving all of these people that have played this game for 3 years straight some significant content to work through as a team. And I think that's everything Guild Wars seems to do, is to try to build that community and that team. And I think that's what this is. This is a game that in those zones, you're going to want to take some buddies with you. So that's why I encourage you, get involved with some groups. The things like what we're doing right now. We're building a group. We started this podcast. We're building a group. It's growing. We got new members every single day. And thank you, by the way, for everybody that comes on in the chat and says, hey, love the podcast and stuff. I always love that. I get such a tickle out of it, and I'll talk to you all night because I talk my head off. But it's just one of those things where you got to do that. You got to be friendly with people. If you want a solo player game, SWTOR is for you. And then you can play with lightsabers. Then you can do a little of this.
You pulled it back out. I know you would.
There you go. You can do a little bit.
I said would.
You've made enough with the word jokes, Militus. No, I'm kidding. So the other funny part about the article that I pulled out is it was written by Jason Winter. And I loved this thing. So Jason Winter gave a little...
His tag, yeah.
His tag. It says, he is the semi-proud owner of an underwater legendary. I was like, that's epic. Most of us are trying to get a legendary, and he's like, I got an underwater legendary. That's really cool.
They do look so cool, though.
You'd have to
But dude, that's when you know you're hardcore.
Yeah, you're way into
have an underwater legendary.
When you care about your underwater stuff, yeah.
And I'd be more than semi-proud of that. I would be full-on proud of that. So yeah, anyway, so that was good. That was our first piece of news. The next piece of news was we had a little bit of Guild Wars Pro League.
Really quick, you can find Jason Winter. He amazing. He this article is awesome, but you can find him on Twitter at Winter Informal.
Winter Informal.
That was great. I love that.
I mean, Jason, maybe think about Jason Logdong. At Jason Logdong.
Yeah, we had 10 possibilities for names. Just go with Clint Eastwood. It's good. It's all good. So back to this. So we got the Guild Wars Pro League, and
dun dun dun.
I should have done that. Guild Wars Pro League. There we go. That was way better. We got a little Guild Wars Pro League, and I wanted to bring this up a little bit because I watched it. Did anybody else get to watch the Guild Wars Pro League at all?
No.
I watched YouTube footage of it after the fact.
Oh, you did? Okay. You watched a little of it after the fact. So, here's the thing. I am a full-on supporter of esports. And I even to the point where I have a DraftKings account, and I bet on the last League of Legends tournament that came up, and I did.
Didn't you win like $6?
I won like $25 in total. I did pretty well, actually. So I like esports. I really do. I think it's a great thing. I even write about it. I'm hoping to speak about it. So I'm an educator, and I'm hoping to talk to people about esports and maybe possibly bringing those into schools, and I hope I get that opportunity. And so there's all this stuff going on with esports, and I really do like it. So I'm coming from a place of constructive criticism. I watched the events, really going into it going, okay, I'm going to give this a fair shot. I'm going to watch the whole thing, and I'm going to see how it goes. Now, first of all, this event was done remotely. So you had the two announcers in the booth, but the games were actually, the players were not in the same room. So it was done remotely. So it's a little different. And I don't know how many esports are done that way, but it really does add something to have them all in the same room, if that makes sense. So that's like my first little constructive criticism was it just felt a little disjointed. There wasn't as much excitement. It's hard for the announcers to get so pumped about something when there's not a crowd and there's not a lot of, commotion going on. And I understand that's a whole thing. Maybe it's not there yet. I get it. But my number one criticism, the thing that I really feel like ArenaNet needs to work on with this PvP stuff, is they have to get better camera angles at work. So one of the things about, so if you think about, I use professional sports as an example. So you got the NFL and you've got hockey. They're both great games. And the NFL is just really well suited for television. It's got natural television breaks. It's got breaks in the action where the announcers get to give you some, tips on what's happening and why they did what they did. And there's some strategy there. And there's all these things that have made football extremely popular on TV. Now you have hockey. Now hockey is got all the same elements. It's action, it's exciting, it's got all this stuff going on, but it's not as good on TV because the little dang puck is tiny and it goes flying around at 9 million miles an hour. You always can't see what's going on. You don't necessarily understand that the announcers don't have time to really set it up and say, okay, this wing went this way because that guy was going to pass it and block and do this. You don't get to hear any of that. You just hear him going 90 miles an hour trying to just keep up with the action of the puck. So it doesn't play as well on TV. And that's kind of what we got going on with this MOBA not MOBA, but this PvP, this MMO PvP from ArenaNet, is the camera angle is so sporadic that I almost get dizzy watching it. It's just like spinning and circling and I can't tell, and it's switching and it's going and it's constantly moving. And I really think they would benefit from, they fight a lot of times on these nodes that are just kind of stationary in the middle. And it would be cool if they just had stationary fixed cameras on those nodes and you could just watch the battle play out, but you're not concerned with, which character, because it would spin.
Or you could
360.
switch those angles immediately without camera turning.
Yeah.
Like I felt like
sharp, like cuts,
okay,
cuts from camera.
It's like, have you ever turned your mouse sensitivity really high and tried to play an MMO?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's nauseating.
Yeah,
if you have it too fast, you're just spinning all over the place. That's what I felt like watching that. Like I felt like someone with the mouse had a really sensitive mouse, and they were just shifting the camera angle around. I'm like,
yeah, right.
No,
because the camera was actually fixed on the player, so they were selecting which player to watch, and you were actually seeing the camera that player was seeing. So when they spin around,
no wonder.
Yeah, that's what you're getting. So that's why I'm like, they need some fixed cameras. They need some controls in there that allow for that, because it was just too much. In fact, I recommended they get sponsored by Dramamine because it would work. I think they could pair it. It would help both cases. It was a little crazy. So, that was one thing. And then, the other part, so I have this criticism of WoW when they were trying to do this as well. So WoW had their PvP. They were trying to break into esports with it. And when you watch it, you cannot tell what's going on because, especially in WoW, right? They didn't have a limited action set. They had 14 million things going on. And all of these guys made the UI super tiny and on the side of the screen, and you can't even tell what they're hitting. You have no idea what buttons are going. There's just flashing lights on the side just going, off and everything. And so it's impossible to understand any of the strategy that's going on with the characters. And this, again, is why League of Legends doesn't have this problem, because League of Legends has a stationary fixed camera angle. It's the way the game is built. So it doesn't have that whirly, spinny thing, and it just moves from side to side down the entire level. So it makes kind of sense. I can watch it and I don't get dizzy. And then I can see what the characters are doing. They're able to put all of those powers and abilities on the screen and make them fit to where I'm like, oh, he's going to hit that spell and that guy's in big trouble, right? And then all of a sudden I get excited because I'm like, oh man, that guy's walking into trouble. Oh, he's dead. And it gets exciting, and that's when you hear the crowd cheer and you hear all this stuff going on. It's really from that. So those were just a couple things. They need to change the UI. They've got to do that. And I don't know, it's hard for an MMO PvP game to be this. I will say this, though. This is the best for it. This is as good as it gets for it. There's not going to be another MMO with PvP that's going to be more fun to watch and entertaining than this. I think they just got to get a few of these things locked down, and I believe they can use this to teach people a little bit about their game, and I think that's really what they want to do. They want it to be a marketing tool. So, if the announcers could start helping players like us understand the game better, And they did a little bit of that, by the way. They'd go through the builds at the beginning and they would talk about the different spells and what they were doing and why they set them up that way. But it'd be cool if they took it down a couple notches and just brought the new player along with it a little bit. It'd be kind of cool. So
I have a question about that, Boom. So what would you think about every time you cast a spell? Maybe this isn't showing the players. I don't know the logistics of the UI and how this might work. Just as an idea, when you would cast a spell, it would show in like big block letters, like flying off to the side, what you cast.
Right.
And so as a viewer, you don't even have to rely on the commentator to tell you that. You saw it. Like you're seeing this flying text kind of, they're casting, I don't know, whatever ability, their heal, whatever the name of that ability is. And so as a viewer, you could kind of get a sense of what was happening without having to wait for the commentator. What do you guys think about that idea?
No, well, the only thing that I think it might be weird about that is if they do like a fixed camera where you just see everything going on, then you'll just see like stuff like that.
Yeah, it might be too fast. It might be
too much text. But no, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Something so that, and here's the cool thing about the limited action set. It would be cool even if it just said a number. Because if we knew what their
sequence they're hitting to?
Yeah, what their weapons were, if we know what weapons they've got equipped, you can pretty much figure that out just by their, if it just said the number next to their little name or something like that they use their 4 ability. We're like, oh, well, he's got his mace out, so it's this, that, I mean, it wouldn't be immediate information, but I don't know.
And they should probably, I think the announcers too should be like, that warrior is going to really lay the wood to that Asura. Something like that. They should
That's
do
a
that
picture I just didn't need.
There could be some of that stuff, going on. I mean, the announcers, by the way, did a great job. I mean, they really do the best that they can. The funny part was after the battle was over, they would get the winner, one of the winners from the team, on Skype to talk, and it was really funny to watch the players because you could tell the players had never done that before because they would ask them a question, and the players are just like, I don't know, I'm just playing the game, And you could tell the announcers are like trying to get something, some kind of professional answer out of them, and they're just like, yeah, I suppose I could play. I don't know. I got dinner in like 45 minutes, so we got to get this last match done.
I got a hot pocket, and you
I got to get
microwave.
I'm gonna have to get this hot pocket. Mom, where's the meatloaf? You got some of that stuff going on.
We're not making fun of these awesome players.
No, we're not.
We're playing into stereotypes.
It's just because I'm so jealous of your elite skills.
Yeah.
So, there's no way you could hold a camera to them, but it is kind of funny because that's the way they were when they got on the camera. So they could use a little coaching. That's all I'm saying. Like, here's what you say, here's what you talk about. Yeah.
I've got to say this about all of these esports. So I'm married to a hardcore football fan. Like, it's ridiculous. And he married a complete nerd. I am the world's biggest nerd. And he's so funny because I showed him some of these league play and these championship games. And he's asking me, how many people are, watch this? And I'm saying, honey, it's a buttload, tons and tons and
especially
tons.
like League of Legends. It's 48 million people.
It's more than who watch. What was that statistic that you had, Boom? It was more people watch League of Legends than watch
the World Series.
The World Series.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, huh? And he's watching like these announcers and he thought it was equally fascinating and stupid at the same time.
It's harder to do. Like, I can handle League of Legends. I really can. I'm having a harder time with the other esports.
And then he plays fantasy football, which I call Dungeons and Dragons for jocks.
It is. It's kind of like that. Yeah. I got my butt kicked again this week.
Yeah, but he's like, this isn't like that. This isn't like that with all your wands and your magic. And I'm like, you're playing pretend, honey. You play dress up. You put on somebody else's uniform every Sunday,
It's... You want to know the funny part is there is actually a fantasy league for League of Legends. So you pick the players and everything. It's exactly like fantasy football, and it's a big deal.
Wow.
It's actually a really big deal. I did a little of it because I'm turning full nerd that way. I actually find it if you give that a chance, you can watch it. And League of Legends is the NFL right now of esports. They just have it on lockdown. They figured out a couple things. It works. And it's hard for MMOs. They're going to have to find a way to simplify the matches,
the UI,
and the camera angles and the UI to make it jump to that next level. You know, it's just going to have to happen. That's what they're going to have to do. Well, let's go ahead.
But not,
sorry,
not at the expense of the actual fabric of the MMO game. Please don't do that.
Yeah. Oh, I think they
can.
will.
I think they can coexist, and I think the one does draw players to it. It would be really fun for me to watch somebody do something really cool on a warrior and say, "I'm gonna go try that tomorrow on that world boss. I'm gonna go do that combo." I would enjoy that. I just didn't learn that when I watched it, so that's kind of where I'm struggling. But let's go ahead and do some shout outs. Tess, you got a shout out there.
I do.
Go ahead and do.
Last week, we gave some shout outs for some new guildies, and we had mentioned our favorite name in our new guildies was a guy named Tosticles. We thought that was hilarious. We were like, oh, Tosticles, that's so funny. And he sent us a very sweet tweet. He said, oh my gosh, I was so honored that you guys gave me a shout out. Thank you so much. By the way, it's pronounced Toasticles.
Toasticles.
To which I say, I'm sorry. I love Toasticles. I love that name, but to us, you're always going to be Tosticles.
Sorry, Toasticles. It just happened. You're just gonna have to own it, Tosticles.
Pick yourself up by your Tosticles and own it.
It just happened. Toasticles is awesome, but you will always be Tosticles in our heart, and that's it's unfortunate that it happened. But it has, and you will forever be named. Yeah, so just start doing what I do. Name all your characters. Boom. You just got it. You get Toasticles, this guy, Toasticles, that guy. You just got to go for it. Yeah.
Yep.
I like it. It's like having icicles on your Toasticles.
Yeah, go create a Sylvari and name it Toasticles Lockdong. Perfect.
It'll be great. Okay,
and then we do have two new guild members.
All right, two new guild members.
Arcatan, love you. And my new favorite, because it evokes so many memories, is Falcor. Falcor. The dream dragon from Neverending Story.
I believe Arcatan pronounces it Arcaton.
So I'm sorry, Arcaton. No, I'm sorry. We're going to pronounce it Tosticles. Okay, so that's just how it is.
Or we could pronounce it the way Bear would, and that would be Arcatan.
Arcatan. Hey, over there, Arcatan. There you go. There you go. Militus, how about you? Do you have any shout-outs?
I have shout-outs to both of you guys for carrying Milla because he's not up 100% tonight. So thank you for joining me tonight and leading us on such a fantastic podcast.
I love you, Milla.
Yeah, I love you too. I love you more than Boom. You love me more than Boom, right?
Oh.
Yes.
See, Boom? You're out of the picture.
I just got toasticled.
Boom, I love you best.
It just happened.
Oh, and one more shout out to all those people that ran with us last night. Zolderp and Mo and everyone who ran in the world boss. We did every world boss.
Can you name all 8?
No.
Nuh-uh.
No. Claw of Jormag, Jungle Worm.
No, I mean
Shadow Behemoth.
all the people that ran with us last night.
I don't know.
It was a lot. It was so fun.
Zolderp, aka Torn Stump.
Nub.
Of course, Zyre ran with us, which was awesome.
Yes, he's good.
Zyre's awesome. We got to get Zyre on the show.
We do need to get him on the show, and we may have Zolderp on as well. So that's in the works. We'll have to see how that works out in the coming weeks. But yes, we do need to do all of that. Well, that's great.
We need to do a lot of things. We're lazy.
I know we are lazy. I still haven't got to my sound stuff. It's just a crazy thing. But thank you anyway for listening. Listenership is way up. We appreciate it. I just wanted to shout out. That's kind of where my shout out was. I was going to shout out to all of the people that have just been supporting the podcast. It's really cool. Please share it with people. Help us get the word out. It's still new, 5 episodes. You know, we enjoy doing this, and we don't need a huge listenership, but it's more fun when we have more people, because you guys make the show better by giving us cool stuff to talk about, by coming on the show with us, by doing all of the things on the chat and the different things. It's way more fun to play this with a group. So please come join the Precursor Guild. Come be a part of what we're doing, and we appreciate all of you. There. And on that note, we are out.